Hi, this is Lady Shell. I'm here to do another Fantasy Grounds character creation tutorial, and this episode will feature the Ranger. So let's open up a blank sheet. Clicking the plus sign, closing that down. We're going to name our Ranger Randy. And the first thing other than that, well, let's give him a picture. I've decided that Randy's going to be an elf, so let's get an elf picture. I'm going to pick this one. Okay, so we have our name and our portrait, and now the first step is to enter the abilities. I'm going to be using the standard array to put my abilities in there, and that is these numbers here, these 6 numbers, and you can put them in any order that you want when you make a character, but you have to use these 6 numbers. Now I know that a ranger's most important ability is the dex, so I'm going to put the 15 in dex. This next most important is going to be the wisdom, because that's how he casts his spells. Not that he's a huge spellcaster, but he does have spells. So the 14 goes there, and the 13 will go in strength. The 12 will go in con. The 10 will go in intelligence, and the 8 will go in charisma. Okay, next step is the background. I'm going to open the background tab, and I want to pick the Outlander background. I will drag the shield over to the background field and close this down. You can see that it added athletics and survival skills that I'm proficient in, and I have the Wanderer feature, and I am proficient also in one type of musical instrument, and I get an extra language. The next thing is the race, and as I told you, I'm going to be an elf. So let's grab the Player's Handbook version of elf and drag it to the race. Let's close that down, and it wants me to select a sub-race. I'm going to select a wood elf because that really matches up with my ranger. So click that, and we are done. Now we want to pick a class. As I said, I'm making a ranger, so drag the shield for ranger and close this. And it's asking me to pick 3 skills. Now, let's look at the Fantasy Grounds College decal. Let's go to the tab for skills. I do not want to duplicate any of the skills that I'm already proficient in, which is athletics, perception, and survival. So I'm going to pick nature, because that fits the wood elf and the ranger. I'm going to pick stealth because dex is my main stat, and I'm going to pick insight because that's always handy to have to make sure that those people are telling the truth. Okay, so we're finished with our skills. We've now I'm going to go back here because I would like to level Randy up to level 3. To do this, you click on the hourglass. You get this tab open, and do not just type 3 in there because that's not how you level. The correct way to level is to take the shield, drag it off and on, off and on. Now I'm level 3, and it's asking me to pick a specialization. I'm going to pick the Hunter specialization and click the check. Now we have our level 3 ranger. He is a wood elf, outlander. He's got his stats. He's got his skills. And we can go to the abilities tab. Now I'm going to open these abilities because I'm going to need these when I get to the actions tab for coding wise. Favorite enemy is something that I'm going to be adding here. It wants me to pick a specific type of enemy that's going to be his favorite enemy, when he'll get a bonus on attacking whatever this type of creature is. I'm going to say undead just because he doesn't like undead. So I'm going to put parentheses undead, And this is just for my own reference and for if the DM wants to look at my sheet and see what my favorite enemy is. And now I can close that down because I've done that. I need to pick a fighting style. This is the same thing that a fighter gets. You could pick either archery, defense, dueling, two weapon fighting. I'm going to take archery because I am a ranger and my longbow is going to be my main weapon. So I'm going to leave this open because I'm going to add that to my actions tab when I get there. But I want to make a note on this sheet and say I'm picking archery. And the next one is hunter. Just says that I picked the hunter archetype. Hunter's Prey is a feature of picking the hunter archetype. And you have to pick either Colossus Slayer, Giant Killer, or Horde Breaker. Now, since I'm mainly a ranged fighter, I am not going to be in melee range, so Horde Breaker doesn't make sense. My favorite enemy is undead, and there can be giant, I guess, undead, but I'm going to say Colossus Slayer is going to be the one that I will be using most often. So I'm going to make a note here, Colossus Slayer. And I believe there might be code for that later, so I'm going to leave that open. Natural Explorer is a role-playing thing about being familiar with being out in the wilderness. Primeval Awareness is also a role-playing thing. Spell casting talks about spells that the ranger gets. Leave that open. Wanderer is again that just says you know your way around. And now we're going to move on to the traits. We have elf weapon training, which gives us proficiency in long sword, short bow, and long bow. I want to add those 4 weapons to my weapons line here. Okay, now I can close that down because I've done what I need to do. I have Fey ancestry because I am an elf. I have keen senses, which just says that I have proficiency in perception, and that's on the skills tab. It's already been calculated. Mask of the Wild says that I can attempt to hide even when I'm only lightly obscured by foliage, heavy rain, falling snow, mist, and other natural phenomena. And then lastly is Trance, just says that elves don't need sleep. They go into a trance for 4 hours, and that is how they recover their health. So I don't need to put that because there's no code for that. Okay, now we had one extra language here. So let's pick our language. Now, if you want to see the languages that are available, you can open the Options tab and you can click on this button, Languages, and these are the languages. It's important that you type the language the same exact spelling and capitalization. So I'm going to have Randy be able to speak Halfling. So I'm going to type Halfling. Okay. Now I can close that down. And my abilities tab is now complete. But it shows that I have proficiency in a type of instrument. We need to add that proficiency to our skill tab because it's not on here. So I click this once to edit the sheet. I add an item and it adds a blank line. I'm going to choose the lyre as my instrument. I will click the star and you can see it alphabetizes once you leave this name area. And I need to associate it with a stat. In the Lear, I'm going to associate it with Dex. Now I click this again to return it back to normal. And did our abilities. Oh, I need to also drag a Lear into my inventory. So I will open the Items tab. Down here in this first box, I'm going to type Lear. I'm going to drag Lear. And I also want to drag 2 healing potions because I want to show you how to add functionality to your healing potions on your Actions tab. Okay, Potion of Healing. Move it over there, and I'm going to make 2. Okay, so I am using Rob Tui's background and class equipment bundle to make my inventory. Other than these 2 items here, you'll see I will add all my inventory in 2 clicks. I open the parcels because that's where the information is stored. I'm going to open the group for background and class equipment bundles. And you look down this list, and you remember that I took Outlander. I'm going to look for Outlander on this list. And there it is. I'm going to drag the shield over, and ta-da! There's everything that I get for being an Outlander. You go scroll down further, get to Ranger, and here's all the things that I get for being a Ranger. And there we have our inventory complete. But I want to itemize not itemize, I want to neaten up my backpack and put the items that I want to carry in the backpack by doing this. Now I deleted where it said empty all the way back to the K here, no space after it. And over in this location line, I'm going to type all the items that I want to put in my backpack. The second thing I wanted to point out is the things that are carried will be with the symbol of the bag. The things that you are equipped with will be with the shirt, like my longbow, my armor, etc. So, backpack, we're not putting our arrows in the backpack. We have a quiver down here. Let's put the arrows in the quiver since I've got it. Now, our clothes we can put in the backpack. I'm going to type a capital B, and it will autofill. And everything I want in the backpack, I just type backpack over here, and it will put it in the backpack. Pitons, Potion of Healing, the rations, the rope, staff, tinderbox, torch, trophy, and water skin. Now, if you look up here again and I click here, you can see it's all nice and indented. Look how nice that looks. I thought I put my arrows in the quiver. Oh, I put my quiver in the quiver. Oops, that's a mistake. Don't do that. Put your arrows in the quiver. Okay, arrows in the quiver. And now you'll see the quiver with the arrows. And my scale mail, short sword, and my, what else? Longbow, that's my main weapon, are all equipped. You can see by the shirt. Okay, so our tab here with inventory is all complete. We have our money, and this is the weight. The next tab is the notes tab. I call this my role-playing tab because the information that you put on this sheet is how you're going to play your character. You're going to put your gender, your age, your height, your weight. Your size comes automatically from when you pick your race. You pick your alignment, your deity, and now we're going to add our personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. Now you can make up whatever you want in here, or you can use the tables to roll specific, well, random traits, or you can pick from the table the traits that you want by just going over here. And if you like this particular one, you could left click it and drag it over into personality traits. I'm going to take the random roll to do my character. And I random roll, and I will drag this into the personality traits. Do the same with the ideals, bonds, and flaws. Now, another thing that you can put on this particular sheet is your appearance. You could say what you look like, and the notes would be where you would put your backstory. Now, let's close the Outlander background, and I am done with this particular tab. The next tab is the log tab. This is if you're playing Adventures League, you would have your DCI number here and your faction, and then you would insert, you would type, your adventures here. We're not doing that, but I just wanted to show it to you. The last tab is the Actions tab. This is where you use for your combat. And we have 20 arrows, and it always sets it to 0, so you will always have to add your ammo. So I'm going to type 20 here, and now it gives me 20 bubbles. And when you shoot something, it's going to deduct an arrow off of here. It shows that I have 3 spell slots, and remember I needed to add these things to here. And I'm going to be separating my information into sections. I would like to make a section for my standard actions, and I type the word here. I move my mouse to the other section, and you can see it made a title of standard actions. Let's add one more. We are going to make racial traits, and we're going to click over here. We're going to add class traits too. Click over here. And the final one we're going to make is consumables. And I'm going to need, wait a minute, what did it do? Standard actions, racial traits, consumables. Oh, okay. You'll see that it puts it in here. Okay, so now I have 2. I need to make, I believe I need 4 or 5 of these. I think 5. Now, we're going to track our water skin. We're going to track our torches. We're going to track our pitons. We're going to track our rations. And one more. I need one more for the healing potions. Okay. Now, I told you I wanted to show you how to put functionality into your healing potion, so it tells how much it's going to heal. To do that, I'm going to right click on where I have healing potions here. I'm going to choose add action from this radial menu, and then I'm going to choose heal from this radial menu. Now you'll see it added a line for me to tell it how much the potion is worth. And I left clicked on the hourglass that is equal to this blank line, and it popped up this little box. Now I need to have it do 2d4 plus 2. So I'm going to grab my my four-sided dice. I'm going to drag it up here. I dragged it, I picked it with my left mouse button, and I'm holding it with the left mouse button. Now I'm going to click with the right mouse button one time to get a second die and drag it over here, and it will put the two dice in the amount here. But I want it to be 2d4 plus 2, so in the bonus box, I'm going to type number 2. And I can close this, and you can see it added 2d4 plus 2. So we're set with that. I'm going to click on the hourglass so that it puts it back down. And I want to add how many of each of these things that I have. So I'm going to click on editing. I'm going to click on mode and change it to preparation. Now, where it says daily, I want it to say once. So I'm going to click twice on each of these tabs. And then we know we have 2 healing potions, so I'm going to edit these to show the correct amount. 10 pitons, 10 rations, 10 torches, and 1 water skin. Okay, now if you click on preparation again, you go back to combat mode, and you will see that it shows you little bubbles for how many of each item that you have in your inventory. Now when you use an item, it will check off here, but it will not deduct it from your inventory. This is just for your own reference so that you know when you're out that you need to go back to the store and buy some more or refill your water skin in that case. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my class traits. Now, part of the class traits would be this fighting style. We're going to add our class traits by using Rob Tui's class features FX coding package, and I'm going to access that through the spell tab. I know that sounds odd, but we're going to click on class features, and now we're going to load. We're looking for fighting style. Fighting style, here it is, archery. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to drag it into this little section, and it added the fighting style. Okay, so we can close this. Hunter's Prey. You know what? I'm going to go into source, and I'm going to search for Ranger so that it stops giving me all the other options. Okay, so now it's only showing me Ranger. So we took Colossus Slayer, so I'm going to drag that over. Now I can close that. Okay, these are higher levels of skills. So we're done with that part. Now we are done with our adding our class traits, so we can delete this space holder, and let's click on the hourglass so that everything goes into just a single entry. Now let's go to the racial traits. Because I am an elf, I'm going to go down to source. Well, first let's go into racial trait. This is the coding package for race traits. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm an elf. Let me scroll up to elf. Whoops, past it. And you can see I have Fey ancestry. Now I'm going to drag that into the racial traits. And I am a wood elf, so let's go and see if there's something under wood elf. I believe there is. I think it's the Mask of the Wild. Wood elf. Yep, Mask of the Wild. So I'm going to drag that into my racial traits and delete the extra space holder. Click on the hourglasses to make it a single line, and we're done with our racial traits. Now let's do standard actions. To do that, I'm going to get out of the source and make it blank. I'm going to go back to class features because I saw that it was in here. And these are the things that I want to drag. I want to drag the dodge, the help, the hide, and the ready into where it says standard actions. So I drag, and I get rid of the space holder. And we're done with those. Now let's close it up with the hourglass so that it's only taking up one line. Okay, now the ranger gets spells. So we're going, and it said up here that it got three first level spells. So let's scroll back down to ranger in the source. And level 1. Okay, it's not under class features because this is the spell list. We want to go in the spell coding. Okay, these are the spells that I can pick from. And I'm going to place them in the spell area. Actually, you know what? I'm going to drag them right up here and they will go into the spell area. So let me pick 3. Let's pick, can I pick this? This is a bonus action. This is B means bonus, S means self, C means it's a concentration spell. I'm going to drag that over here, and I will take Fog Cloud, and I will take, oh, we need the Hunter's Mark. I don't know how I missed that, but we do need it. Hunter's Mark. And one more I will take. You know, sometimes it's handy to have speak with animals, so I'm going to take that. It's a ritual too. So now you'll see all my spells were added under the spells level 1. Okay. So that's the spells. I can click on that to make it uh, back in the non-edit mode so I don't accidentally erase something. Okay, I've got my standard actions. I've got my spells. I've got my racial traits. And I've got my consumables. Now I'm going to put Randy on the combat tracker and I'm going to add the racial traits to him. So to do that, when you're in your game, you would click on the hourglass and see the little man here. Take the little man and drag it over to your name in the combat tracker, and you'll see now he has the Fey ancestry on him. And if you were in the game and you were trying to hide, you could use the Mask of the Wild by doing the same. Drag into the combat tracker. And it says that you can hide while lightly obscured. Okay, so we are finally done with our ranger. We have all of our spells and skills. I showed you how to do your racial traits. You have your class traits. You have your fighting style. And, you know, that can go on the combat tracker too. Let me drag that over. That says that I have the archery fighting style and it gives me a +2 to ranged attacks. And Hunter's Prey is another thing that you would use when you're in your when you're doing combat. Okay, I think we have this finished. So I hope you enjoyed my video and I hope you will continue to watch because I will be doing, I believe Sorcerer is the next on the list as I'm going down the classes alphabetically. I've already got a rogue already up on YouTube, so Sorcerer will be my next class that I will be doing a video for. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.